Today's guest has successfully navigated these challenges at scale. With an extensive career spanning over 25 years, Mr. Ashutosh Johri has been at the forefront of driving change and innovation.
I think one transformation journey that deeply reshaped my thinking in early days, especially from a governance standpoint.
Throughout your career, you have been at the helm of ensuring seamless customer experience while driving innovation.
I believe we are on the edge of a structural shift, one where HR stops being a service function and becomes a strategy enabler.
From your experience, how do you see the role of human resource management evolving in large organizations with the rise of automation? Hey everyone, welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. Here, we sit down with global leaders, boardroom veterans, and future-forward strategists to decode how leadership is evolving in a world driven by disruption, ESG, digital governance, and decisive vision. In a world where digital transformation, automation, and seamless customer experience are at the heart of every business, today's guest has successfully navigated these challenges at scale. With an extensive career spanning over 25 years, Mr. Ashutosh Johri has been at the forefront of driving change and innovation in some of the world's most influential telecom and IT companies. From leading the business group change at Nokia to driving automation and digitalization program that impacted global operations, his leadership style blends strategy, hands-on execution, and a keen eye for transformation. Today, we unpack Mr. Ashutosh's blueprint for sustainable growth, explore the human side of digital transformation, and learn what makes a successful leader in this ever-evolving tech landscape. Mr. Johri, it's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. It's a privilege to be part of FaceTime with Leaders. This platform comes at a very important time when leadership is being redefined across industries, not just by disruption or digital trends, but by how we adapt with empathy, purpose, and resilience. Over the years, I have been fortunate to work at the intersection of transformation, technology, and people. I'm looking forward to reflecting on the journey with you today. Thank you for having me.
So, Mr. Ashutosh, to begin with, could you kindly share your career journey with us? What were the defining moments that brought you to where you are today?
Certainly. My journey began in mid-90s, just as India's telecom revolution was gaining momentum. So I was fresh out of my engineering college and I found myself drawn to the potential of connectivity, how it could empower communities and shape economies. Early roles with Siemens and Escotel gave me a hands-on exposure on GSM rollouts, often in places that have never even seen a landline before. Subsequently, I joined Nortel Networks, where we managed deployments for high-touch customers like Reliance for their national optical backbone, as well as the CDMA infrastructure at Gujarat. I also led IBVR programs for Bharti Airtel. These weren't just technical assignments. These were high-stakes programs that sharpened my ability to deliver at speed while aligning diverse stakeholders. The turning point was at Net Proactive Services, where I led global managed services for customers in APAC region, owning business operations, delivery models, compliance, partner ecosystems. That gave me an end-to-end view of value chain and profit and loss impact, a perspective that has served me well, especially when linking strategy with execution risk. But the deepest learning curve came at Nokia, my current organization. I moved from leading high-impact transformation programs for our key account Vodafone to overseeing global automation, process improvement, and change enablement globally. So as the complexity grew, spanning multiple geographies, cultures, technologies, so did my focus on governance, stakeholder buy-in, and value realization beyond just the KPIs. So if I have to summarize the thread running through my journey, it would be this. Transformation is never just digital, it's deeply human. And no matter the program, industry, or geography, I've learned that the real leadership is measured not by velocity, but by the impact that we last and the trust that scales. Today, that's what continues to drive me, the opportunity to shape sustainable outcomes by blending transformation with transparency and purpose.
Absolutely, Mr. Johri. That was such a heartfelt story. The way you walked us through the twists and turns, the transitions, the learnings, the resilience, it really brought your journey to life. It's not just about your roles, it's about the evolution behind it.
Well, one transformation journey that deeply reshaped my thinking in my early days, especially from a governance standpoint, was the RPA discovery phase at Nokia, robotics process automation. The goal was to identify automation opportunities across multiple functions. Technologically, we were ready. We had the tools, we support from leadership, clear ROI metrics for several automation opportunities that could reduce manual and iterative tasks and improve the efficiency. But what we didn't account for was the emotional resistance from the frontline teams. The feedback was clear. This is too fast. We're moving, we are losing control. Are we being replaced? That moment was a wake-up call. We had stakeholder sign-off, but missed to establish the user's belief. So we paused. We ran co-creation workshops, redesigned workflows with user inputs, and shifted the narrative from cost and efficiency to enablement and upskilling. The result? Trust started compounding, resistance dropped, and adoption rose. For me, that wasn't just a leadership pivot, it was a governance learning. Boards must now ask, is this transformation grounded in people dynamics, not just the project charters? Because without emotional alignment, even the best design transformation will underdeliver. That experience solidified my belief that successful programs need three anchors: top-down vision, bottom-up inclusion, and I think most importantly, the middle level ownership and execution. That's the blueprint I carry forward as an operator and increasingly as a strategic change advisor.
All right, Mr. Johri. So continuing our conversation, here is my next question to you. Throughout your career, you have been at the helm of ensuring seamless customer experience while driving innovation. How do you ensure that customer satisfaction is always maintained while pushing for innovation within an organization?
So one transformation journey that deeply reshaped my thinking in early days, especially from a governance standpoint, was the RPA discovery phase at Nokia. The goal was to identify automation opportunities across multiple functions. Technologically, we were ready. We had the tools, we had the support from leadership, and clear ROI metrics for several automation opportunities that could reduce manual and iterative tasks and improve efficiency. But what we didn't account for was the emotional resistance from the frontline teams. The feedback was clear. This is too fast. We feel like we are losing control. Are we being replaced? That moment was a wake-up call. We had stakeholder sign-off, but missed to establish that user belief. So we paused. We ran co-creation workshops, redesigned the workflows and user inputs, and shifted the narrative from cost and efficiency to enablement and upskilling. One instance that brought this balance to life was during an initiative to automate field engineering support activities in France with our GDC, which is the Global Delivery Center. On paper, the change was efficient, but in practical, it disrupted a repo and real-time resolution. Field team missed the human connection they were used to. That experience taught me that innovation without empathy is disruption. From a governance angle, this highlights a critical blind spot. Are we tracking innovation risks as customer risks? Boards often focus on velocity, but sustainable innovation demands sensitivity. We rebuilt the systems to integrate human override options and redesign the communication interface with frontline inputs. Since then, I've always championed design thinking embedded with the structural change management, built on the three horizontals. Stakeholder invoice, absolutely paramount. Enablement and readiness, then communication and trust building, because When customers, internal or external, feel part of the journey, they don't resist the change, they champion it. So, design for speed, deliver with sensitivity, and govern for sustainability. I believe we are on the edge of a structural shift, one where HR stops being a service function and becomes a strategy enabler. With automation and AI, the question is no longer who does the work, but how do we preserve the judgment, creativity, and ethics at scale? From my own experience, I've seen this play out in reskilling programs and leadership reviews. We often focus on job displacement, but judgment displacement is the real challenge. When algorithms decide who interprets and who questions, leadership too is shifting. It's no longer about the smartest voice. It's about creating clarity in uncertainty. Boards needs to be cognizant that in an AI-powered world, the leader's job is to bring meaning, not just the motion. Boards must now recalibrate what they measure, not just the strategic foresight, but the ethical fluency, adaptability, and emotional resonance. It's not just about the digital readiness. I think it's more to do about human readiness.
Rightly said, Mr. Johri. All right, so we are heading to our rapid fire round, and it's time to loosen up a little. Quick, instinctive answers only, no explanations, no overthinking, just say what comes to mind first. So, are you ready for it?
Absolutely. Fire on.
All right. So, here I shoot my first question to you. What's one value you will never compromise on, even under pressure?
Oh, integrity, absolutely.
Great. A city that feels like your second home.
I think Vancouver, Canada.
Okay. Your go-to stress buster when the workdays go sideways.
Anytime, a mindful cup of coffee.
Okay. A leader, business or otherwise, you deeply admire.
I'm deeply influenced by Swami Vivekananda, but on a corporate angle, I would say it would be Jensen Huang.
Great. Unexpected. So, Mr. Johri, if you weren't doing what you are doing now, what career would you be in?
I think a strategy coach.
Quite unexpected. All right. I loved all the answers, though. Okay. So, moving ahead and continuing our conversation where we actually left it. Mr. Johri, in 2016, a major Indian telecom operator uncovered 20 crore rupees in bogus vendor invoices, processed with the help of an insider. Given your experience managing high-touch vendor relationship across companies like Nokia, Net Proactive Services, and Nortel, how do you ensure transparency and accountability in such complex, multi-layered outsourcing environments? And what governance mechanisms or review systems have you found most effective in preventing fraud?
At one of my earlier organizations, we narrowly avoided a vendor issue that was flagged by a team member, not so in audit, a hidden dependency that had been overlooked under a long-standing contract. That incident taught me that governance doesn't live in frameworks, it lives in vigilance. We implemented layered invoices, reviews, quarterly red flags, dashboards, vendor lead rotation policies to avoid over familiarities. In Nokia, we have systems like ethics helpline and open reporting. But more importantly, we have a culture where questioning is not punished, but encouraged. To boards, I would emphasize embedded governance, not as a control, but as a culture. Because vendor fraud doesn't necessarily start with malice. It starts with ignorance or silence. Boards today need to ask, are we over-indexing on performance metrics or under-indexing on behavioral red flags? Are our vendor ecosystems audit-proof or culture-proof? Governance today must move from checklist to a character.
Great, great. All right. So here is my next question to you, Mr. Johri. You have recently joined Directors Institute. What motivated you to take that step, and how has the experience added value to your leadership journey so far?
For me, the decision to pursue structured board education was a natural next step in my professional journey. I realized that operational success isn't enough to navigate today's complexities, risk, stakeholder trust, ESG, digital ethics. These are the domains where board impact is now made. I truly value the opportunity to immerse myself in international governance models, boardroom dynamics, peer dialogue, and structured framework that translate real-world challenges into a boardroom clarity. One key realization, being board ready isn't about experience, it's about elevation. The ability to rise above functions and see systems. For me, it's a mindset shift from execution to stewardship and from projects to principles.
Great, Mr. Johri. Uh, you know, let me thank you for sharing your wealth of experience and knowledge with us today. It's been a true pleasure to learn from your journey and leadership insights.
Thank you. It's been a privilege to reflect on the journey so far. For me, leadership has always been about impact that outlasts the moment, about building systems of trust, adaptability, and purpose. Today, as I aspire to transition from my transformation leadership into more strategic advisor roles, I'm deeply focused on contributing at a board level, particularly with organizations navigating digital disruption, operational scale, or governance reforms. I believe this is the right time, not because of my tenure, but because of perspective. I'm keen to serve on boards where I can bring both executional grounding and a forward-thinking lens on automation, ESG, and stakeholder alignment, and where stewardship is valued as much as strategy. So to those listening, whether you're preparing for board roles or looking to strengthen your own, I would simply say this. Leadership isn't just what you do. It's the legacy you enable in people, in purpose, and in the decisions that shape the future. And that's where I hope to continue next.
Absolutely. Great to hear that, Mr. Johri. And thank you once again for joining in. To everyone tuning in, whether you are leading transformation, managing risk, or preparing for a board role, this conversation has reinforced the idea that leadership is a continuous journey shaped by decisions and experiences. This is FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute. Until next time, lead with purpose and stay future ready. Thank you so much.